The victim tells me that she believes the burglar initially tried to get in through this window in the living room, then when failing, moved to the second window about 5 feet away. Nearly 100,000 of these solar panels collect energy from the sun and then feed it to this substation, sending out power to thousands of Imperial Valley residents. By using GPS technology on a smartphone like this, traffickers are able to use elevated locations like these mountains to guide illegals across the border. It may not look like much now, but imagine waking up at 6:30 in the morning and finding water knee-deep outside your door. This school, Washington Elementary, located on 1st Street, is less than a block away from yesterday's incident, and it has some parents thinking twice. We're here at HOSKEN Theater at the Yuma Palms Regional Center, where fans, Harry Potter fans, have been lining up since this morning. He is just dying to give us some tricks right now. Here, give me a high five. Okay, we're going to actually have him do some more tricks right here. Kevin's going to show us how he does this. This is a preview of what you're going to see tomorrow. Regular writers out here tell us that they try and work with a lot of people that come out here that are new to the sand dunes to make sure that they're having fun, but that they're being safe as well. Live at the Imperial Valley Sand Dunes, I'm Felicia Martinez, KSWT News 13.
Honestly, I wanted to kill him. That's like, oh, this is not happening. I wanted to get a hold of him and do whatever. Not kill him, but hurt him and make sure that he got caught. But unfortunately, he ran away.
You're hearing the voice of an El Centro homeowner who was shocked to wake up and find she was being burglarized. It happened Wednesday around 4 in the morning in the 2000 block of South Cottonwood Drive in El Centro.
The victim tells me that she believes the burglar initially tried to get in through this window in the living room, then when failing, moved to the second window about 5 feet away, succeeded, and that's when she woke up to him next to her bed.
She tells us what went through her mind upon opening her eyes and seeing a man stand above her.
So the first reaction I did was grab a hold of him, and I started to punch him. And I started to yell at him, telling him, "Who are you? Who are you?" And the next thing you know, I saw he was going to hit me, so I moved back, and that's when he pushed me and he ran out.
Shook up by the situation, she had her daughter call police, and while waiting for authorities to arrive, they realized 2 cell phones, a laptop, and 2 purses had been taken from the living room. The victim says she doesn't think the suspect, who is described as a Hispanic male in his late teens or early 20s, worked alone. She also has some questions for the authorities.
Why not take fingerprints of the window, the spring on the window? Why just leave and not do the correct thing? Maybe they can find them by doing what they have to do with the fingerprints, but they didn't do it.
They didn't?
No.
The El Centro Police Department is investigating the crime. Commander Mason says, not having been on scene, he can't comment as to why fingerprints were not taken.
With the suspect being on the loose, what is being done to try and get him?
We are having our officers go into the neighborhood. We're asking the people that live there if they had seen or heard something that they thought was suspicious. In addition to that, we're going into the neighborhoods in the late evening and the early morning hours to see if perhaps the suspect has returned.
Anyone with information is encouraged to contact the El Centro Police Department. In El Centro, Felicia Martinez, KSWT News 13. Next month, 14,000 people living in homes in Niland and throughout Imperial Valley will be getting their electricity via sunlight, thanks to a combined partnership between Sun Peak Solar and IID. And Friday morning, the 23-megawatt solar park celebrated a 2-year project.
99% of everything that's is here was done by people who are local from this county.
David Rennie is CEO of Sun Peak Solar and says nearly all of the 93 people who worked on site were Imperial County residents. The project alone brought 250 jobs to the community, and this day, he says, is about the work they did. For Rennie and those involved with the project, solar energy is the way to go because it will provide an assured source of power for an estimated 30 years. Nearly 100,000 of these solar panels collect energy from the sun and then feed it to this substation, sending out power to thousands of Imperial Valley residents. Once the switch is flipped, the entire town of Niland will be the first solar-sufficient community in the United States, and the cost will be more effective for the people who live here.
The sun's free, and we're not polluting the environment at all. This is something that, with all the sunshine we have down here in the desert, let's take advantage of it, and that's what we're doing here.
After nearly 2 years of unemployment, Evangeline McDonald, an Imperial Valley resident, received work last year from 5 Star Electric, a local subcontractor to Sun Peak, and was able to purchase a home for her and her family.
This is the future. Green energy, I think, is where it's going to be, with a lot of things going on in the economy and in our society. And I think this is the best way to begin green energy.
Sun Peak Solar will be breaking ground on a second solar park just north of Imperial Valley in 6 months. In Nyland, Felicia Martinez, KSWT News 13.
I enjoy this very much. It's a good time to get out of the prison and and come back and do some work for the community.
For Raul Gonzalez and Mark Garner, both dog lovers since childhood, spending time and caring for animals at the Humane Society of Yuma isn't just a job, something they genuinely care about. Both members of the Arizona Department of Corrections Labor Force program, they too know what it's like to be locked up because they are behind bars at the Arizona State Prison in Yuma.
When I started out in this time, I started in the higher yards where we were locked down more like almost 23 hours out of a day, and you got your hour out for a rec, and you walked back and forth to chow. So I know exactly how the dogs felt, and it's great. I know how I felt. I would have loved to have someone at that time come in and give me some love, and and take care of me. And that's these dogs. It's a great thing to be able to come out here and just to take them out, give them some love, and let them know that even though they're here, that they are still loved.
Being allowed to work at the Humane Society of Yuma is not only beneficial for the dogs, but for the inmates as well.
It gives me a feeling of self-worth because I know these dogs depend on us to come in here, and even though we're just cleaning up after them and feeding them, they need that.
It's very rewarding. It's a very rewarding job. I enjoy coming out here, like I said. And so when I am released, I will be already in the work environment, work training position, and whatever comes available my way, I'll be ready for the task.
Both inmates say their favorite part of the job is spending time with the dogs. Whether it's walking them or playing fetch, the animals are so grateful.
Even though they are locked up in those cages sometimes, when you bring them out, just to see them come up to you, want to lick all over you and jump all over you, even though they're locked up in cages, they still have nothing but love to give to you.
Garner, who will be set free soon, says by working at the Humane Society of Yuma, it sheds some light on his own life and gives him hope for when he walks beyond the prison walls for good.
In prison, we have one attitude that we wear there. And, being able to come out and work in a community, it allows me to leave that attitude behind, and it allows me to come and get back into society, because that's very important to me, because otherwise I'm walking around kind of with a chip on my shoulder, and now when I come out here to work, I get to leave that behind, and I get to feel once again like I used to when I was free.
Upon finishing up their time at the Arizona State Prison, Gonzalez and Garner say they plan to continue volunteering with the Humane Society and giving back to their own hometown communities.
I think being here has made me change my way of thinking, so I think that is a plus for me. And I think the reason is that I would get back to the community, because I've learned a lot from these dogs. They're loving, and they need someone to love them.
The Humane Society of Yuma says because the program has been so successful, they hope to continue working with the Arizona Department of Corrections for years to come. In Yuma, I'm Felicia Martinez, KSWT News 13.